Hey everybody, it's Busy Little Bee. Welcome back to my channel. So yesterday, after I uploaded my video about Rosie being in the hospital, hours later, she went live. She is greasier than she was the day before. She's got a few updates for us. It seems like so far they found a whole lot of nothing. And she, in my opinion, begins to dry beg from her audience. She starts talking about how she's in a financial pickle and she's going to have to, live out of their food storage or whatever because she allegedly paid for her parents to go back to Norway. It's hard to know what's true or not with Rosie. You know what I mean? So her audience kind of calls her out on the dry begging, and they also, keep saying, like, yo, it sounds like you just had a panic attack. And she is very adamant that no, 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 no. Although everything showed she didn't have anything going on with her heart. She had a possible infection. That's it. They're giving her blood thinners because allegedly she says she coughed up a blood clot before she had went to the hospital. I don't know if that's true, but I wanted to get the clips to you guys so you could see the highlights of what Rosie had to say. This live was about 40 something minutes long, I think 45 or 49 minutes long. I got it down to about 10 minutes. So let's go ahead and let Rosie take over.
I've got a lot to update y'all on, and I was planning to come back like a day or two ago, but clearly obviously the past like 6 weeks, like basically since my parents got here, I haven't been doing nearly as many lives. And in the beginning I talked a little bit about that. I did a couple sporadic ones and then I just stopped, and the couple sporadic ones was really fueled by the fact that my our AC was like, it basically became broken. And then so there was like a 2 or 3 week period where like our house during the majority of the day was like between 86 and 89 degrees, and it was almost unlivable. And then it was like I like couldn't function, and I was like, there's no way in hell I'm doing cooking streams in this heat. Like I can't handle it. I can't do it. And then eventually we get the AC fixed, and then it's going to be less. And at that point, it was going to be less than a week. So when the AC came back on, I don't believe that I did any lives before. I think because my niece was coming into town, and so I kind of briefly talked about it in a prior live that like I was not going to go live while she was here. But we had a lot of fun. And during all of that time, I was job hunting like crazy.
Sure, Jan.
I interviewed a few times and it was just rejection after rejection after rejection. It's been a bit of a humbling experience because I have such a staunch work history and like years and years of experience, and I've never had this much issue getting a remote job, and it's been humbling to say the least. But I got sick. So, and it was initially just like head congestion, nasal congestion, itchy nose, coughing up gunk, like just sinus headache, like that kind of sick. And I was like knocked out on my ass for 3 or 4 days. And then I started recuperating, getting a little bit better, but I could kind of feel some of that sickness had traveled down into my lungs. I was getting a little wheezy, which this is something I deal with about once or twice a year since I was like a kid. It's just been something I've always dealt with, because I'm pretty sure, honestly, it was just allergies. And that happened right after I got in some bullshit situation with someone that I tried to make a friend with in the area. I'm not getting into that today. I'm too tired. That whole thing was a fucking shit show. And I was just like, of course, like the one time I tried to make a friend, she's fucking just, oh, anyway. I was laying in bed, not last night, but the day before. And I got, oh, my arm's shaking. I'm actually literally about to tell the story, Putty Cat. So I was laying in bed, and this is after I'd been sick for almost a week. And I get this really sharp, intense chest pain, like on this side where my heart is. And it kind of shoots through and then extends into my left arm. And like my entire left arm is aching and radiating pain. And then the symptom that I didn't understand at that time was my jaw was like really clenched and like in a lot of pain. I was having a lot of jaw pain, traveled into my neck a little bit. The pain would occasionally radiate over into my right arm and then kind of come back. And then it did once or twice radiate into my upper and lower back. And then I was dealing with lightheadedness, minor nausea, dizziness, brain fog. And then that night, I also coughed up a minor blood clot, and I just convinced myself that night that I was like, I'm just probably like, it was probably just from coughing a lot from being sick. Like, this is probably just anxiety, because all of my other chest pain in life has been anxiety. I've always had a good EKG, I've always had everything. So the next day, I'm still chest pain, still left arm, occasional jaw pain. It wasn't as severe as it was like the first initial event. And then like as the day was going on, I just got this like intuition feeling of like, I think I need to go to the hospital. And I'm not sure. But the left arm was like freaking me out. So I finally Googled symptoms of a heart attack in a woman, and quite literally I had almost every single one. And I was like, oh, fuck me. Fuck me. Fuck me.
I've been trying not to break into the clips with my commentary, but I just noticed that what she said, and it's very much like Amber Lynn. Like, I had every single symptom. You know what I mean? It's very, very interesting.
Okay. Oh shit. All right. Fuck. Because I also just lost my insurance. So this is a very expensive and not flippant decision that I have to make. It was one of the reasons I didn't go the first night, was because I don't have insurance. They take me really seriously. They do like a whole workup, bunch of blood work. The EKG initially came back good. But the symptoms are really concerning, and they're not exactly sure what I'm willing to say right now, because I still have to do a stress test tomorrow. They did an echo on my heart. I got a CT scan today, and I haven't heard any of the results back about the CT scan. It's just, the good news is it wasn't a heart attack, even though I quite literally had all the symptoms of it. We're trying to see if there's any kind of blood clot issues. They gave me like a blood thinner. They gave me an antibiotic for like an infection issue that may or may not be related to this. I've also just kind of had a come to Jesus moment about like the state of how I've been caring for myself.
Sure, Jan.
And I actually just talked to my mom before this live, and she advised that based on where I've been and what's been going on in my life, that I should possibly talk to some of the mental health staff here and see about getting a referral to get restabilized, because a lot of these issues I'm dealing with are not only physical issues, but due to basically the neglect of myself from like my mental health stuff. It's kind of exacerbated a lot of these issues. And so she said, if you were to go to the mental hospital, it might help you restabilize and get you back on track, because I'm still waiting for my first therapist appointment, and we started that process like over a month ago. I used to get numbness and pain in my jaw and radiated in my chest when I was getting massive panic attacks. Yeah, I mean, they're taking it really seriously. I'm really thankful for that. They're not treating me like a, oh, you're just anxious, type situation. Because like I've had chest pain from anxiety, and it's not fun. But this event was different. What happened was different. And like, for the most of yesterday, I had the chest pain, and then starting in the middle of the night and through today, it's like it's kind of ebbed and flowed. Like right now, the chest pain is kind of present. It's just not as like in my face as it has been. Or a little bit earlier, I had a kind of a flash of it like being really painful again for a little bit, and then it subsided a bit. So it's just like, I don't know. Maybe I should just apply for Medicaid. Oh my God. The last time I went to a mental hospital when I didn't have insurance was when I was medically kidnapped and had that really extremely traumatic experience. So I honestly might not go to the mental hospital because I'm too terrified to. That's the thing is, and I was saying, so yeah, when my niece left, my parents had 3 days left here. So I was like, well, I'm not gonna deal with YouTube until they leave. The food is surprisingly really good at this hospital. I had a meatloaf plate like right before I went live. I was so lethargic before, because they put me on a nothing. They call it a nothing by mouth diet. I think they call it like an NPO diet or something. I don't know. Because they had me do the CT scan, which they were gonna take me to do a CT when I first got here in the ER, and then I was told, I was too big for the machine, which I wasn't that surprised by. And then today they're like, we're gonna try to do the CT, and I'm like, oh, okay. And then so they take me down there, and the guy's literally like, okay, I'm just gonna be real with you. Like, there's a chance that it may not work. And I was like, I know, I totally understand. I'm not offended. It's just the reality. And then he grabs these straps and he's like, we're gonna try to just like compress basically like my stomach area, like the widest part of me. And it basically it just kind of like makes the like sides of my stomach more compressed essentially. And when he did that, like, because I was like, it was like I was just at the point of where it was like I could possibly fit, but it might impact the reading without it. But then he did that, and then I was able to fit just fine. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. So I was able to get a contrast CT. I was like, thank God, you know. I'm honestly might hop off here in about 5 minutes just because I don't think I have a ton of energy to like sit here and yap forever. Unless y'all want to ask me questions, I can answer some questions just because like I'm just tired. I am anticipating I'll likely be coming home tomorrow unless they find more stuff. So yeah, I mean they've determined that what I experienced wasn't a heart attack. We're just looking to see if we can find some more answers. And it just sucks because like if we don't find any answers, I do not have the financial means to follow up with a doctor until I find another job. This is more than a panic attack. And I wasn't like in a state of emotional distress. I mean, yeah, I was like unhappy that my parents were leaving, but I mean, I don't think I had a full-fledged panic attack over it, you know what I mean? I'm in a I'm in a bit of a stressful pickle in life right now. Yeah, you can definitely message me on Instagram, Carrie. Because I kind of hinted at it in a past live, but you know, I kind of like spent almost almost all the extra money I had to help my parents get to Norway because we had our reasons for it, and it was very important and it was extremely beneficial. My parents have been extremely supportive of me, and like, you know, it's like I help them, they help me kind of a thing. And so I'm not going to have really any extra money except to pay the like couple bills that I am responsible for. Yeah, I haven't asked for a goddamn thing. I probably won't go live, but my goal is once I'm home and I'm feeling more like myself is to do lives a lot more regularly, at least until I get another full-time job. You know what I mean? Like, that's so crazy that like just talking about, like, honestly talking about what you're going through is dry begging. I'm not being like, my life is so hard, I just wish somebody would help me. Not said anything like that, you know what I mean? But people will just be like, you know, I spent all my money on something and life's kind of tight and I have to wait and get it figured out, and I'll get it figured out, and they'll take that as dry bagging, and I'm like, are you insane? The fuck was that? Anyway,
Now, do I know for a fact that she ripped ass in that clip? No. But it was very much giving Amber Lynn and the, was that a gunshot? I was reading the comments from the video yesterday, and some of you guys thought she was malingering. Some of you guys thought this was kind of geared toward her parents because they had just went back to Norway, so that she was kind of meaning it as like a look what happens when you leave me kind of thing. Money's tight, she says, so she's gonna start live streaming more often. That's great. I'm down to cover it. What I won't cover is her eating. I will not have her eating on my channel anymore. I did one video about her food-centric content. If you'd like to watch that, you're more than welcome. I wanted to highlight how much food is a very central part of her life and her channel. And it's monetizing her addiction. And I think there is a big problem with YouTube allowing these super morbidly obese people to eat large quantities of food and then monetizing their addiction to food. So that's it on Rosie. That's our update. I will keep you guys updated. Like I said, I'm still working on the Breezy video. It will be out before the end of the weekend, but I wanted to get this out to you guys first, since I told you when I know something about Rosie, you will know. So I appreciate you watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.
My heart rages around like an ocean in my head.